Wow. Okay. So Mikal Bridges has been traded to the New York Knicks, and I'm really happy for the Nets. This is something I've been wanting them to do. Not to the Knicks necessarily, but I'd been wanting them to move off of Mikal Bridges, get picks. But let's start this video off with what probably most people want to hear about, and that's the Knicks side of things, and then we'll get into the Nets later. So the Knicks have reunited the Nova boys, got 4 out of 5. They need to re-sign on Ryan Arcidiacono now because they traded him away some time ago. But I really hope they bring him back. Just like complete the team, get all 5 of them on there. I think that would be really awesome. But what does this mean for the Knicks moving forward? How does it affect their re-signing OG Anunoby? Is Isaiah Hartenstein going to come back? And to answer that, from what I've seen and heard, it looks like they're not going to be re-signing Hartenstein. They might try, but most likely a different team will be able to offer him a better contract than the Knicks can. I don't even know if the Knicks have any money to work with. I don't know. It might be tough for them to re-sign him, which is too bad. I really like Hartenstein with this team. Mitchell Robinson will still be there. I had been hearing some rumors about him possibly getting traded, but now with this and Hartenstein almost certainly be gone, I assume they'll probably keep Mitchell Robinson, unless they do something big and like also move Julius Randle somehow and bring in a different center, but I might be getting way too far ahead of myself right there. But OG Anunoby, did I say that right? OG Anunoby. With him, from what I've seen, they're still aggressively going to be trying to re-sign him. He's unrestricted though, so even if they want to re-sign him and throw all the money at him, he could go wherever he wants. You know, they can't match offers. He's not restricted. He'll be able to go wherever he wants. He'll probably be one of the most coveted free agents out there, I assume. You know, this isn't a very strong free agent class, but so he'll be one of the best players available. But overall, you know, I like this trade for the Knicks. I think it's a good fit. They only gave up Bojan Bogdanovic, who didn't really play for them at all last year, even though when they got him, I thought he could be a pretty solid piece for him, but didn't really work out that way. But they also gave up a lot of picks. Some people might say it's an overpay, and, you know, maybe it was a little bit, but I don't mind being that aggressive to get your guy when you pretty much already have the team that you want, and you feel like he's the piece missing from it. I am a little bit worried if OG and Hartenstein leave, so then it'll be Brunson, DiVincenzo, Hart, Bridges, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and then they'll still have probably Alec Burks on the bench. I think Precious Achiuwa might be a free agent, but they might bring him back. I'm not sure. You know, you're kind of like, do they have the same power that they had with OG Anunoby on defense? You know, you would hope Mikal Bridges can replace some of that if OG leaves. But regardless, this is a pretty good move for the Knicks. You gotta like what they did here, going out and getting their guy, giving up a lot of picks. It was let's look at the details real quick. So it's 4 unprotected first-round picks: 2025, 2027, 2029, and 2031. A protected 2025 Milwaukee first round, and an unprotected 2028 pick swap. Oh, and a 2025 second rounder. And then the Knicks get Mikal Bridges and a 2026 second rounder. I think that's kind of funny that the Knicks also got a second round pick in this trade. But yeah. So obviously, that's a lot of draft capital coming in for Mikal Bridges. Like, that's enough draft capital to rival the Kevin Durant trades, the Rudy Gobert trades that we saw. Like, that's the kind of draft capital we're talking about. Maybe you could argue, is it the same quality? I mean, it might be better quality. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer. But yeah, that's a lot. It might be seen as an overpay, but if it works out, do you really care if it was an overpay? If it works out and you get a championship or you get this great team for however many years, at what point do you even care if it was an overpay? So while this trade was a lot of fun for the Knicks, and I think it'll go really well for them, there's still a lot of pieces we need to see fall into place. What will happen during free agency? Who are they bringing back? How will they work around the edges of this roster now? Are there more trades coming down the pipeline for them? There will still be more things to fall into line that we need to wait and see before we get a real picture of what this Knicks team will be. So let's focus on the Nets. Now the Nets, I've been wanting them to tear it down, trade everyone, get picks. I really want them to go full rebuild mode, and that's what they're doing here, and I really like that. I think their front office was saying recently that they're kind of at a crossroads, and they need to decide whether to try to build this team around what they have, Mikal Bridges and all that, or if they need to go into rebuild mode. And they're going into rebuild mode, and that's the right decision, in my opinion at least. So they got 4 first-round picks, basically 5 first-round picks with everything that they got. I don't know if I thought they would get anything close to that for Mikal Bridges. I thought maybe they'd get 3. Maybe more likely 2 unprotected and 2 protected or something like that. Or 2 unprotected and 2 swaps. I thought it'd be something more along the lines of that. This is more than I could have imagined, which the value of draft picks kind of seems to wax and wane a lot in the NBA. It seems like there are times where you're seeing people who you're like, really? They got a first round pick for that guy? And then there's other times where it's like, how can we not get a pick for this guy? No one wants to give us a pick for, insert decent player here. But, this might set a precedent for the price of picks moving forward. But yeah, great haul for the Nets. Obviously, they didn't get any picks in this draft, so they're still pickless in the 2024 draft for now, at least. Maybe they'll be able to do something else, move Cam Johnson, get a pick, whether or not it's in this year, but get some sort of pick for Cam Johnson. Could they get some sort of future pick for Dorian Finney-Smith? I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to get a couple seconds, or maybe a future first or a first swap or something for him down the line. But this is a great move in the right direction for the Nets, and they actually made another trade that's a little more low-key and honestly kind of confusing when you just read the details. But the gist of it is they're giving up some rights to some pick swaps, something like that. But what they're getting out of the trade is their own pick in 2025 back from the Rockets that they gave to him in the James Harden trade. So that's the big thing here. I said in a previous video that the Nets are going to be a terrible team. They're not going to be able to reap the benefits of being a bad team because they don't have their own pick. But now they do have their own pick in 2025, which is supposed to be a good draft. I'm not the best draft analyst person in the world, and I'll never claim to be. But allegedly, it's going to be a good draft. Everyone's talking about Cooper Flagg, and he looks good, but I can't tell what he's good at. I know he's just good at basketball. But yeah, so in the next year's big draft, where the Nets will probably be one of the worst teams in the league this year, they should have a pretty good shot at that number 1 pick going into next season, and that'll be huge for this team. Even if they don't get the number 1 pick, just having a top 5 pick as opposed to having nothing like they would have had before, and another first round pick from the Knicks in this draft coming up next year, that'll set them up in a at least pretty solid position to go into a rebuild, try to get something going. Now, I am a little sad. I really wanted the Nets to trade into this year's draft and take a swing on Zach Edey. I just thought that would have been really entertaining. I think the Nets are the perfect team with very little to no identity, and they could have just given Zach Edey the ball 60% of the time and just let him go to work. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I thought that would have been a lot of fun. I don't know how even feasible it was for them to get a pick high enough to get Edey, but it was something that I was dreaming about. A boy can dream, can he? Especially with recently, it seems like Edey might go even higher than we thought, but that's still it's still a whole crapshoot on where Edey's going to go in the draft. No one knows. He might go at 7. He might go at 15. He might go at 20. Like, who has any clue? I literally have no idea. But actually, if you're watching this when it comes out, or around when it comes out, the draft is today. So we're going to be getting a lot of new news, new action. We might see a lot more trades. Things might be going crazy. So we all got to stay locked in. I'm going to be watching the draft today from the perspective. Right now for me it's tomorrow. But today, going to be watching the draft. And the next day for the second round. You guys might be not watching the second round, but I'll be tuned in for the second round. Well, I'll have it on in the background. I'll say that. I'm not going to be glued to the television for the second round, but I will have it on in the background with a few key players that I want to see where they go. But yeah, that's all I really had for you guys today. I just wanted to get some quick thoughts out about this Mikal Bridges trade and then the Nets' other trade while it was still fresh. Looking forward to the draft today. I know you guys are too. But yeah, that's all I really had for you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you watched the video this long, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate you guys. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out and I appreciate it a lot. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.